Denizens of the internet, this is Sellout Podcast. It's time for more Lucha Underground. I'm Adam Eater.
I'm PJ Adder.
PJ Adder in the house. I was under the impression that I was going to be able to record so many more of these today. And we're only on the second one, and already I'm really tired, and the day slipped away. What time is it? 18, so it's 6 o'clock, almost 6:30. Well, anyway, we're going to be doing at least one more today. We'll try a little bit harder. It's hard to get in the mood, back in the pace of things when you haven't done it for so long. And life is extra exhausting, and you're just recovering from Mania season. And
it's been a long couple of months.
Yeah, couldn't even go out to travel like we wanted to for Mania. But Mania, this is not about. This is about Lucha Underground here on the episode 2 of our little Lucha Underground explorative series. Let me know if it's weird that we're both numbering the episode of podcast and also the episodes we're on. But yeah, we're talking more about Lucha Underground. That last episode was definitely a solid start. I mean, if you're going to be doing, you can go back to the first Raw and have a stacked card.
True.
You know, so you got go first ever AEW was a pretty stacked card if I remember correctly as well.
There's been quite a few shows who have stacked
TNA
cards.
Snake Eyes was a stacked card.
Yeah.
Okay. They had 2 in a row. We don't know much about what's going on with TNA. We kind of dropped out in favor of taking the road less traveled.
Yeah.
In the form of Lucha Underground. So, for those of you just tuning in, when we last left off, the first episode of Lucha Underground, Dario Cueto went around all over the world finding the greatest fighters in the world.
He had to specify that.
That was very specific. Not to mention a proclaimed love for violence that really came to a head in the main event where
Johnny Mundo
won. He won, and he tried to claim his briefcase as the most impressive thing going in Lucha Underground at the time, only for some strangers to come in with Dario Cueto saying they work for me and handing over a briefcase of $100,000. Alright? This is not the only insane thing that happened during this show, because we have a pissed off Chavo Guerrero that he lost to Blue Demon Jr. and another promise by Dario Cueto saying that 1,000 deaths will come to Lucha Underground.
Because Chavo wasn't able to take care of Blue Demon.
Yeah. Again, Dario Cueto proving he don't give a shit about Lucha. He wants to see the heads of the luchadors roll down the steps of the temple.
Yeah, he has his own agenda, that's for sure.
And we're not really certain what it is. All we know is that Dario Cueto has very powerful protection and connection so powerful that he was able, without a blush on his face, to say that 1,000 deaths are coming to the Lucha Temple.
Yeah.
So hopefully in this next episode, we're going, in this upcoming whatever's next, we're recording it a bit differently. Secret's out. We watch it and then we record. That's how we were able to get under 30 minutes. Answers shall come to us, hopefully.
Yes.
So, let's pop into what this show has to hold. So it would be the first thing on the card would be the a promo with Big Rick and
And the two guys.
And the two guys, they named themselves. It's Big Rick is the big black man.
Cortez
Cisco
and Cortez Castro.
Apparently, historical significance behind that for those of you who want to do your own research. Then Big Rick saying, hey, we're like the freaking rope to toe in this industry, and like mid promo, we have Morrison, Johnny Mundo, spilling into the ring
and just starts attacking,
trying to beat the shit out of everybody, and it makes sense because as of what we know right now, he's only here for money, and he missed out on $100,000 of opportunity.
Yeah.
Taken because realistically all it was a paid insurance for Dario Cueto.
Yeah.
He hired a bodyguard. That's all these guys are.
Yeah, 3 bodyguards.
So, it was like noticing that Mundo was losing. Puma came out.
Yeah, Puma came out.
And Dario Cueto announced, it's going to be a tag team match.
Yep, and that's what starts off the show.
Big Rick hobbles his fucking huge ass almost all the way up the steps, and he just starts puffing on a cigar the entire match.
Yep.
As quite competent, his boys were doing shit.
Yeah.
They not only were showing that they were going to be troublesome and problems in the ring by cheating and getting involved when they shouldn't, and competently, not like I'm talking like Eddie Guerrero levels of perfect cheating.
Yeah.
The ref is unaware that any of this is going on. Didn't even make a single call on the two of them.
No.
Because he didn't see shit.
He did not.
Not only that, this casted ref also knows if he were to make a call, Big Rick is on the steps. If Johnny Mundo just got his hands on that money, that probably would have been the end of Johnny Mundo.
Yeah, he would have gone on to the next paying job.
He would have found the next job that's going to pay him $100,000 for one match. You know what I mean? But because it went to Big Rick and the boys, and apparently Big Rick taking the lion's share of the money himself.
Yeah, he seemed like he took all of it.
It has now become personal, and so this tag team match began.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating all around, except for our obvious heroes in this situation.
And they worked relatively well together.
Oh my god. It not only showed that they were going to be a competent tag team, but they were these bad guys were going to be a competent tag team, but also that they were not, just because they're under Big Rick doesn't mean they're jobber tier. He kicked out of a fucking moonlight driver from John Morrison. One of his signature moves, mind you. John Morrison, God. I'm going to probably say it 1,000 times during this series, but this is John Morrison at his best. This is John Morrison as Johnny Mundo. This is him at his best.
And this was after he had been away from the business for a while.
Yeah, 13 years?
Something like that.
A long amount of time away from the business. And
it seems like he came back without a hitch.
Yeah, no ring rust whatsoever. Nothing's wrong with him. And if you want to see some of John Morrison at his best, stop listening to this podcast. Come back to us afterwards. But go and watch Lucha Underground. I promise it's worth it. If you are a fan of John Morrison, you are missing out if you've never seen him in Lucha Underground. And he's a treat. But what was really cool is, besides the highly scripted things that are a part of this show, every match tells a story.
Yeah.
And it's a wider narrative. In general, I'm gesturing, but there's nobody here to see this. There's a wider narrative going on. And this wider narrative is, these guys just wanted to get their revenge. Because they both needed that money. I'm sure
And they were both attacked at the end of the last
At the end of the last episode, yeah. But I'm sure that even Prince Puma had problems with his manager.
Oh, Conan.
Had problems with Conan, right. Because he didn't bring home $100,000. I mean, that would get anyone pissed, especially Conan, who said to Dario Cueto, I'm also interested in all the money you're throwing around.
Yeah.
So Prince Puma is his cash cow. It's his meal ticket. It's the same thing with, don't fucking sue me now. He has been exonerated. But it was the same thing that was happening with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar was the meal ticket.
Right. And then Paul Heyman became his own meal ticket eventually.
Yeah. Oh, God. This man's... He
took manager to a whole new level.
I know we don't talk much about WWE stuff, but if you guys haven't seen Ladies and Gentlemen, My Name is Paul Heyman, it is one of the best documentaries of wrestling ever.
Or just Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech, which
was God, that was such a good speech. But yeah, so they got both of the guys down in the ring, went up to the top turnbuckle and hit both of their moves.
Well, they both hit 450s.
They both hit 450s?
Yeah. Even
better. 1, 2, 3, and that was the match. Both of them, they got the revenge they were looking for. Probably not. It's not $100,000 worth of revenge.
No.
But it was definitely, they were happy to have it.
They got their revenge from the beatdown.
And so ends the first match on the card. We're currently on a Lucha Underground splash screen at the moment, so we don't know what happens next. Alright, after that first match, we have a backstage segment. God, just a constant reminder that this highly produced backstage content needs to become more of a standard. Everything just looks so... It's posed as if it were a comic book. Is that weird for me to say? Everything that's backstage is posed as if it were a comic book.
It kind of reminds me of TNA's game. The story mode in that.
Oh yeah? What does that entail? Proving that you are ever more experienced than I.
I am not that much more experienced, but the TNA video game was kind of awesome. They, as your character, Suicide, you were told to throw a match. And then there's a lot of backstage segments afterwards. And it just, I don't know, it just reminds me of it. You basically get beat up.
Okay.
And thrown into, like, a back alley in Mexico. And
those wrestling games, they love to have the story not go a character's way, and then you wind up in Mexico.
You're disfigured, and you have no memory of who you are. So you basically all you remember is you're a wrestler.
You're a wrestler named Suicide.
You don't remember that part.
Oh, okay.
So basically you just...
Is the disfiguring so that when you go to the character creation, it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be?
You wake up in these bandages all over your face.
I will purge the sin in the flame, and the flame will burn with me, and I will be cast to the abyss, yet it will not be dark, for the flame ever burns brighter. Oh, no. For those of you Fallout fans, that's to get the Fallout tag on the YouTube page. Hot diggity damn.
I've kind of been wanting to watch that show.
Okay, this is not a sponsor, alright? Hey, give us money and we'll rep your shit more. So it was Conan saying, hey, kid, you're hot stuff, kid. You remembered your sword.
And you can't trust Morrison.
Don't trust Mundo. Morrison. I'm your only friend. And I'm like, I was like, well, but we only hear from Vampiro how evil he is.
Exactly.
And it's like, nah, I'm your only friend. What do you mean? I didn't say I was your only friend. You're crazy. But no, it was very simple. Don't trust Morrison. All right, kid, let's go. And then it slammed right into a vignette.
From Mil Muertes.
1,000 deaths are coming to
His
Lucha
name is
Underground.
literally 1,000 deaths.
Yeah, Mil Muertes apparently stands for 1,000 deaths.
Yeah.
Which is super freaking cool. It was slowly panning down a hallway lit with candles, and then it was like Frankenstein's monster
coming out of the darkness.
coming out, and then you fall. It's like you are on the ground as Mil Muertes walks away, and it said debuting tonight, Mil Muertes.
Yeah.
So this is what's going to fix Blue Demon Jr. apparently.
Apparently.
Then we get into a fight. It was a 1-on-2 with Chavo Guerrero versus Son of Havoc and Evilise, who they totally gloss over the fact that this is Evilise's debut.
Yeah. It was an actual mixed tag match.
It was a real mixed tag match. Chavo Guerrero was tag teaming with Bitch. So
what I meant was it's a real mixed match or mixed tag team.
Oh,
where women can actually
honestly it's a centrifuge level of mixing. In Lucha Underground, the women and the men can fight.
Yeah.
Which I think is
and the
really
men won't
cool.
get disqualified.
Yep. So it was a novelty to see. And it's happening in 2014. Even Vampiro was like, it's 2014 for Christ's sakes. The women can fight the men.
Exactly.
You know, and we're heading towards a future where that's going to be a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rhea Ripley basically broke that door down.
Do you want to know what is additionally like? I know in this case it was a man versus a man, but remember that sketch they did at WrestleCade?
Which one?
Remember that guy was literally in the convention floor. He was screaming, dressed as a woman, and all of that. And then he came out and said, "You're not going to have a super show without me."
Right. Oh yeah. Oh god.
And then Wardlow came out and slammed this. God could not be more than 160 pounds.
He could not be more than 120 pounds.
He was so frail. I was like,
dude was a toothpick.
If Wardlow can slam a person into a mat until they're one, not conscious, and two, what's his name came out and said, "Damn!"
Yeah. And then the next night, the dude came out in like a
wheelchair with
brace.
a neck brace. Yeah. The wheelchair, and that was just to get the wheelchair out there for a spot, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
But that's it's all a work to figure out. Hey, hashtag it's all a work. In the description below, you'll find a link to a podcast where they where it's called It's All a Work. I believe it's called It's All a Work. I really need to look that shit up so that way I'm right. Either way, the link's correct and so is the words next to it. Click. They talk about main roster stuff, main brand, main everything, AEW, WWE, so if that's your bag, so be it. We like the underground stuff.
Yeah.
Hence the Lucha Underground being probably going to be the most covered thing on our page for a long time.
That, and I think we're going to do a lot of MLW.
MLW seems so free. It's on the rise. It's the ECW of the indies. But yeah,
with
so
freaking Contra. That group is awesome.
He is really cool. The Contact Killer. Yeah, what's his name? Got zipped in a body bag the last thing we watched.
Was it Jacob Fatu?
Oh, was what it was. I thought he was going to be coming to WWE for sure.
He still could be.
I
mean, they got... Who was it?
They got their first major pay-per-view of this season coming up.
Yeah.
What is it? Backlash in France, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and they were just talking about that at the, what was it, Mania press conference?
Uh-huh.
Someone from the French reporting
Riviera.
or something.
Smelling like Gouda.
One of the French reporters asked them when they were going to come to France, and he was like...
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah.
Omelette du fromage.
Now you make me hungry.
Again?
Ooh, bread. Sorry.
Did the alarm go off?
I haven't even put it in yet.
Oh, okay, well, we can finish this segment.
Okay.
Anyway, Son of Havoc and Evilise, who are two really cool people.
Yeah.
And Chavo Guerrero and Bitch, who are two not really good people. as you will see
it
coming up here real soon.
It seems like Chavo has kind of stepped behind and not in wrestling very much anymore. He's more in like the training area.
He's in the training,
because
and
he
always
trained
on
the people
pod.
for Iron Claw.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
That's
and
a movie
I think he might be in it.
That's a movie we still gotta watch.
Yeah.
But
we're waiting to get it on DVD because we want to be home and crying.
Anyway, home and crying. Look.
Like the Bray Wyatt documentary.
Okay, look, that's cheating. Anyway, needless to say, on the back of Chavo Guerrero, Bitch got a victory.
Yeah, Chavo basically handed her the victory after doing a frog splash.
Yeah, so Chavo and Bitch won. Moving on.
On to the next segment.
So it started backstage with Blue Demon. He was, again, more just comic book visuals.
Yeah, he was backstage working out.
He was working out. I guess trying to get a pump on
before his match.
And a lady comes to the back room, taps him on the shoulder, and she's not there. He
turns around and she's not there.
He turns around to see her. She's not there. When he turns back around, here's this woman. And she comes up to him, licks him on the mask, and says, "A taste before 1,000 deaths." And then she disappears. Yeah. That's the end of the segment.
And then we get a segment on Prince Puma.
Yeah, we get a package explaining more of Prince Puma's backstory, how, a younger... I keep forgetting his name.
Conan?
There we go. A younger Conan found him on the streets.
It wasn't him, remember? He said a friend of his.
Oh, it wasn't Conan?
No, he said it was a friend of his.
Fuck off. We're going to find out it's Conan. Watch. So a younger friend of Conan found him...
Puma in a fight.
Where
he was basically being teamed up on by, like, a bunch of people.
Yeah, so that's the first segment you see of Lucha Underground, is this little vignette of essentially Puma getting the shit kicked out of him. And then he was taken to Conan.
Well, he said that his friend didn't step in because he saw that Puma could handle himself.
Yeah. And then he was taken to Conan, where Conan found out not only is he a good fighter, but he has, like, the prime Aztec genes in him.
Yeah.
And he was, like, a direct descendant of the most respected Aztec tribe, the likes of which the allies revered him, and the enemies feared him.
Yeah.
And so he essentially... It's tons of footage of him training. Again, more awesome fucking comic book visuals of him kicking a punching bag and, like, a bunch of dust coming off of it and stuff.
And then at the end of the package, it's him basically punching a punching bag off the thing.
Off the chain.
Yeah.
Into the fight, we have...
It's Blue Demon.
It's Blue Demon. He comes to the ring. Fanfare.
He was in the ring to begin with.
Oh, he started in the ring?
The package.
Okay. So, Blue Demon started in the ring. Then Mil Muertes came down to the ring with, what was her name?
Katrina.
Katrina. Here comes the hurricane bitch. Here comes the hurricane. And she definitely was a hurricane bitch. Because she brought destruction to the ring.
Yeah, she
Mil Muertes came down and he uncaped himself. Had a final look at a stone or something wrapped up in a cloth, and then he kissed Katrina. I was thinking, it's because what she's doing is she's giving him a taste of the opponent before the match. Again, you're probably like, it's not that deep. This is Lucha. It's not wrestling. It's something totally different, and every little thing means something, and I guarantee that's what it is. That's why this isn't the last time you're going to see a taste before 1,000 deaths. It is a precursor to him literally beating ass like he did. And Blue Demon, he was able to get shots in, but he got a cover and he didn't grab the leg, and that's because by that point, Blue Demon realized this is about survival. This is not about winning.
It's about surviving.
He was now fighting for his life. He recognized this
against death.
Oh God, yeah, no, he's Disco Death. Oh, totally. He straight up is coming to kill, and sure as sunshine, he hit his move, and the move is called fucking Flatliner.
Yeah.
Flatliner, like heart-stopping, and wow.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and that's it. That's the end of that match. Blue Demon loses to Mil Muertes. But then, he got back into the ring and beat the shit out of Blue Demon some more.
Yeah.
Until Katrina came in with that stone. And as soon as he saw the stone and he had his hands on it, he was fine. He was a regular person again, essentially.
Well, also, Chavo came out with a chair.
We were getting to that. Because Chavo came out with a chair after Mil Muertes and Katrina left. They were leaving, but he came out with a chair as if to
defend
him, and he proceeded to beat the shit out of Blue Demon.
Yeah, and then of everyone who tries to come stop him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
Then he beats everyone.
Oh yeah,
that comes
a bunch
to
of
stop
people
him.
exit the locker room, and he beats all of them with the chair, only to continue to beat the shit out of Blue Demon.
Yeah.
Again, just Chavoing himself. It's what he always does. He shows up, he's a face, and then he becomes a heel. Like
Very
2
quickly.
episodes. It happens everywhere he goes. That is what he does.
Yep.
After all of that, Bitch comes to the ring and is begging Chavo, please don't hurt him. He's family or something. Nope.
Chair shot to the head.
Bitch got a freaking 50 cc's of chair right across the noggin. Good.
Yep.
Good.
We both kind of laughed at that.
So then more smacks with a chair as a stretcher comes out to remove Blue Demon from the arena.
And then as they're trying to get Blue Demon on the stretcher.
Almost to say, I'm done and I'm just going to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Yeah. He unfolds the chair, pulls up his shirt a little bit, and just sits there laughing.
Yeah. Laughing maniacally at the downed figure of Blue Demon.
Yeah.
And then when they're trying to drag him out of the ring on the stretcher, Chavo pulls him back in and starts beating on him again.
Anyway, they got him out of the building, and the final scenes we see are
him taking a bow.
Him taking a bow, a pan out of the city as the ambulance is driving to the hospital. And that is how episode 2 of Lucha Underground ended.
Yeah.
Another solid episode. What can I say? I mean, if you guys are even a little bit of a fan of wrestling, I mean, it's also super friendly for people who aren't into wrestling that much.
Yeah.
It's always my first thing that I would introduce people to. I've sent links to people before of, hey, this is a good thing to start watching because it is your Avengers style, your superhero style content. It's highly produced. I kept telling it comic book visuals, and that's just because, all of this is, you could easily draw this out and make a comic book using it.
But it's also like, if you like soap operas, it's like a soap opera, but with body slams.
Telenovela.
Exactly. It just keeps drawing you in with each episode, makes you want to watch more, and it seems like it's going to keep doing that.
Yeah, yep. It does it for a while. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good little promotion. It's a shame that it got cut so short. I think there's only 5 seasons of this.
Oh, there was a reason.
There was a reason. We'll get to that. But
do you want to do that at the end?
Probably. I don't fucking know. But that's definitely, it was just another solid episode. It just had the flow format.
And it was also kind of cool that they had Matt Stryker also like told you facts about things like
Oh yeah.
Aztec history and all that.
Oh, definitely.
It was kind of cool.
For you history buffs, it's also a neat look into that culture. Don't waste time. Watch it.
Yeah.
It's available. I'm not going to tell you where you can watch it.
With a quick Google search,
With
you
a
can
quick,
find it.
With a quick, right, proper Google search, you can find this. And it's worth watching. You don't even have to pay for it, really.
Yeah.
But if you do want to pay for it, it is on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, it'll be the best money you've ever spent. Because it's really good. It's proper wrestling content. All right. Top of the hour. And we're done talking about Lucha Underground for a day. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And it doesn't have to be in that order. But if you do want to put an elbow drop on that subscription button, that would be totally fine by me.
Yeah.
More importantly, hey, you have friends out there that like to drive around, that like to find places to go, and hey, sometimes the radio is a bit boring, sometimes your playlist is a bit out of date.
You've listened to all the things on your playlist?
That is what the share button is for. If you think that there's a person who will even have a passing interest in this podcast,
even if it's just to fall asleep to.
Even if it's just to listen to my sultry voice as you wander off to Betty Byland, send a link to this video. And if you are the one who was sent this, you be sure to thank your friend for all the great entertainment that you've experienced tonight. And you yourself, hey, if every person that listens to this subscribes and also sends it to 3 people they know,
or even just one,
hey, send each if you send this episode to people, 3 people become 6. 6 people become what? 12. 12 people become 24, and before long, we're the top-rated sports podcast on the internet. Hey, and those of you who are subscribing to this channel, let me tell you, you are freaking ground floor, baby. We will remember you forever. This is not my first YouTube channel, by the way. I have had special moments with all of the people that have followed on other subscription platforms. Let me tell you, I treat you guys like you're freaking... I just recently... all the people of a chat recently just stopped using their Discord. I was in a chat regularly talking with subscribers for years on a different platform. And I only just now had to get rid of that. So, like, hey, you got a friend for life, especially if you're one of those special ground floor people. But yeah, sending it and spreading the word is a very important thing. We're getting into longer than the actual episode was in promotion. Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Bye.
I'm thinking about Ovaltine.